Welcome back to the channel, my friends. On today's video, we're looking at this die-hard battery charger engine starter. Now this one has a 200 amp, 40 amp, and a 2 amp slow charge. This is a manual charger. Now this thing all of a sudden just quit working. So if I take my multimeter here on AC or DC volts and check the alligator clips, I have nothing. So it's not putting out anything. Even the gauge here doesn't register anything. It does turn on as far as when you plug it in, the fan does come on, but it's not putting out any voltage to charge the battery. So let's take a look. We'll go ahead and open this up. There's two screws. There's one here, one on the side. Those are 1/4 inch screws. I already have those removed. Again, they're just 1/4 inch screws. Once you have those screws off, this cover will pop off just like so. You can completely remove that. Now we can see the inside of it. Now you can take it further apart, removing the handle or removing this front face, what have you, or the sides, but totally not necessary. Now with the top cover off, we can see the inside. Now this is not an automatic charger, so it doesn't have a circuit or a PC board to control things. This is a fairly simple charger. Now mine's a bit tightened up. I've had it opened up before, so I've taped up all the wires nice and neatly. Originally the wires were all over the place, just with one zip tie in the center holding everything together. So mine's kind of cleaned up, but that's totally not necessary. That's something I did before. The transformer inside of these is a pretty robust transformer. Many other brands are going to be quite the same as far as how they are internally. Now a common piece that I've replaced on this before is this fuse or circuit breaker here. We'll go ahead and test that. Now with your multimeter on ohms, you can test the resistance by probing this side and this side. It tells me at least it's not open. Circuit breaker's okay. Again, that's a common failure part. Sometimes those do go out. Now looking at the inside of it, on this side you have your AC side. That's your outlet that you plug into the wall. That's where 110 or 120 comes into the transformer. And on this side is the low voltage side. So basically, when you plug it in, you have your 120 or 110 coming in through here. And it steps it down to 14 volts or 15 volt. But it is still AC on this side. You have your rectifiers, diodes here. You've got 1 and 2. And that's what changes it to DC volts. And that will come out through here. Now you have a heat shield here that your diodes are bolted into. And that heat shield also serves as the cathode. This would be your positive alligator clip. That's what that is going to. And you'll have your negative on this side here that's fused or through the circuit breaker. Now we can go ahead and plug this thing into a wall, and we'll test for voltage on this side here and here and see what we get. I did forget to film, so when plugged in, I do have AC voltage on both of these terminals going to the diodes. 15 volts or 16 volt, depending on what my settings here was. So that tells me the transformer at least is putting voltage out. Now, when I test at this terminal or right onto the heat sink here, I have no voltage. You should have your DC voltage at this plate here, which I do not. Most likely my diodes are not working, because as I move these around, this thing actually came right off. You can see how that's kind of broken off on me, and I was able to push it back on. We'll go ahead and take this plate out. We'll unplug all these cables right at the transformer here, and we'll unbolt this rectifier plate from there. I've already got the screws loose in the back. Now you can see that's isolated from the casing, as this is a DC positive voltage on this. So for the sake of the video, we'll go ahead and pull this out so we can test the diodes. Another common issue you may have is there is a thermal fuse that's here. Those tend to go out. You can also resistance test these the same way you did this fuse to make sure that's okay. But like I said, in my case, I do have voltage here, but nothing coming out to the positive lead going to the battery or this clip here. The heat shield along with the rectifier diodes. Now we can bench test this. So with your multimeter, you can either do a resistance test, or I have a diode continuity test on this, so we'll use that. So to test this, remember these being diodes, current only flows one way and not the other way. So I have our positive lead connected on the wire here. We can test it right onto the plate, and as you can see, here I have continuity, but not here. Let's try testing the other one here. You can see on the plate here that does have continuity, but this one's also broken. If I move these wires around, you can see it connects and it goes off. You can see that diode internally is broken, as it's the shaft on it, or the anode. The anode's completely just spinning around in it, and it makes a contact, then it disconnects. So these are definitely bad. So as I've tested it before, I have AC voltage up to here, but nothing on the plate. Intermittently, if I move these around, it does work, and then it doesn't. They're just bolted right onto the heat sink here. So we'll get these disconnected. So here I have the diode rectifiers pulled off the heat shield, and here's the new ones I'll be using. It's quite a bit smaller in size, but it can still handle the amperage. Now, again, to test it, I have my multimeter on diode test. Connect one lead to the positive and the other on the casing. You can see how it beeps. Now, if I had to do it the other way, where the negative is connected on this end, on the anode, it will not work this way. Again, they're made so the current can only flow one way. You can see it's fine there, but on this end, it will not work. Now, I pulled the old ones off from these holes. These are much smaller, so I ended up drilling new holes for them. Now, originally we had 2, and I plan on using 4. That'll just kind of divide the load on these, and it should run much cooler. I have 2 per side, just like here. Now these bolt again right onto the heat shield. Here's the hardware for it, and we'll bolt them right on. We'll also use some paste, some thermal paste on these ends before we put them on. So here I have all 4 of our diodes mounted onto the heat sink. Now to do the connection. Remember, our old diode here had 2 wires going to each. Now, that's the way it's going to have to be. Both of these wires will need to go to each. So what I'm planning on doing is, this end obviously comes off the transformer. I'm going to join these together here. Basically a jumper wire in between, and that'll give me 2 ends here. I'll cut this middle off, then I can use 1 for each, and they'll still be joined like this. So let's get that done. So here we have the wires jumpered together and soldered, and we'll put a piece of shrink tubing over them just like this. Then we'll go ahead and solder the ends on to our diodes, and we'll get this piece installed back into the charger. So I was able to go ahead and install the rectifier diodes right back into the machine. I did tape up all the wires. Again, something not necessary, but that's something I do like to do. It tidies it up nicely. And also changed the original 168 bulb or a 194 12-volt bulb to an LED. Since my original kept falling out of the socket, it was kind of loose. This looks better anyways, and it runs much cooler. Gives it a white light in here instead of your old yellow lighting. Anyways, now we have the machine running, and it seems to be charging. You can see on the voltmeter I have it connected to this battery. I've tested all the functions. Everything works the way it should. Now again, we've upgraded this to 4 diodes. Originally it only had 2, and this works perfect. And they are wired in parallel, so if one happens to go bad, it will still run off of the other. This machine should last a long time that way, so we've kind of upgraded it a little bit. I also did use some silicone-based thermal paste on the diodes before mounting them. That'll help with the heat transfer. If you are having an issue with your charger, they're fairly easy to diagnose on this. If you got power coming out of the transformer, those red wires going to the diodes, you should have AC voltage there. If you don't, obviously there might be something wrong with the transformer, or you might want to check that thermal fuse that's right on the transformer there. Now if you have AC voltage, Obviously, in most cases, your issue is going to be in the diodes, and that's what this was on this charger. Again, another issue can be this circuit breaker here. Hopefully this video has helped someone out. If you got any questions, comments, please let me know. I thank you for watching.